Hello, I'm Mark Naniman. This is Power Stuff. Today we're going to talk about how to cancel all running flows with one click in Power Apps. This is going to be all of your flow runs for a select flow that are in a running status. Let's just hop right over into my Power App so I can show you how this works. Okay, so here we are in my Canvas app that I'm building. This is a cloud flow management Canvas app in Power Apps. So I'm using the processes table in Dataverse. The logical name is the workflows table. It has your cloud flows in it if you filter it right. There are other processes stored there as well. In addition, I'm using a Power Automate flow called by the app, which uses a HTTP request to an API endpoint for Power Automate that will give me the flow run history for each flow in the app. And so that's what we're looking at right now is we've got this list of flow runs. So my app is loaded. Over here, I've got a gallery of buttons that show me the breakdown basically. So we've got 452 failed flows, 747 succeeded flows, 17 running, 89 canceled, and we've got some that are in a canceling state. And we're going to see what that is here in a minute. So all I got to do is just click on one of these buttons and it will refresh the gallery filtered on that status of flow. So here we see we're looking at all of our succeeded flows. We have the start and end time and the run time. But I'm going to go click back over to my running flows since we're going to, in this video, demonstrate how to submit a batch cancellation request for a select flow to cancel all the flow runs in a running status. So now I'm looking at all my flow runs in a running status. And maybe they could have called them pending or something else. And so we wouldn't have to say flow runs in a running flow runs. I've got my runtime over here showing me how long they've been running. So I built this flow called runaway flow demo. It's just a simple flow with a long delay on it. But the reason I'm making this video and showing how to do this, it's a new feature that Microsoft added, which is really great because I don't know about you, but me in the early days, I made some boo-boos and I would accidentally make a infinite loop, like a flow that was based off of a file or item being updated in SharePoint or a Dataverse row getting updated. And then the same flow or a child flow of that flow would update the thing again. And I wasn't careful enough to build the flow to model it properly to not cause an infinite loop. And there are other things that can happen. You can run into like a throttling situation where if you've got a really complicated flow system going on with child flows being triggered, what can happen is one of them maybe has too many actions in Dataverse and you start running into system protection limitations where they start throttling you because you're using up all the API calls that the whole ecosystem gets, the whole environment gets, and it starts slowing down every single process in the whole system for all users. And so you can start running into throttling issues with that. And then if you don't have, if you're using like HTTP or you don't have asynchronicity set up right, and you don't have your default retry policies set up right, sometimes it'll start trying to trigger the child flow a bunch of times because it's timing out because it's getting throttled. And now you end up with like 1,000 running flows and everything grinds to a halt. And that can be very, very, very bad. So you don't want that to happen. In the past, they didn't used to have this cancel all button, which they added in Power Automate. So you can open up your flow and look for the click all runs, and then there's a cancel all button. I'll throw that up on the screen. So that's a great thing that they added because in the past, what you would do is you could select 20 at a time and hit cancel. Or you could save a copy of the flow and then delete the flow. That was another thing you could do. But then that causes problems like reconnecting everything down the road. So it was very difficult. It was a very bad situation if you ever made a mistake like that. So now they've got this cancel all button, which is great. And it just so happened, I saw that and I read up on it. And I noticed that when you list your workflow processes in Dataverse, or retrieve one of those records in Dataverse, in the output, there's actually, for each process, each workflow, they actually show you the endpoint, and it's labeled neatly in there, cancel all flows or something like that. And it's got the endpoint that you would call with your with a HTTP post, and that will cancel all running flows for that flow. And it lists that for each one. And so that gave me the idea to, hey, I can do this. We can do it in Power Automate, but we can also do it in a Canvas app, and we can make a button that we click to do it. And that's what we're going to do here. So let's just, enough talking. I'm just going to click into, so I've got all these runaway flow demo runs that are going now, some of them for over a day. And I'll just click on the button with the title of the parent flow on one of them to open up that flow. And we'll have that flow opened only. Open up this flow. We can see we're in the runaway flow demo, and I've got a link here I can click to pop us over to the flow in Power Automate. And here we can see that cancel all flow runs button right there. Unfortunately, I didn't time this correctly. I got delayed on my video here. So it looks like as I was recording this, they all hit the 1 day mark, which was the length of the delay I had in there to keep them running. And so they all like finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a bunch of these running again, so that I have something to demonstrate for you guys. This YouTube channel is just getting started, and we have no money, so we're not starting this over. And now I'm going to go back over here in my app, and I'm going to refresh the flow runs to get everything. Okay, so now here we are inside of our runaway flow demo, and we've already peeked into it in Power Automate and looked at the cancel all button. So I'm accomplishing the same thing here with an HTTP request. And so here we've got all of our running flows, and basically all I got to do is click this, and I get a notification. Do I want to cancel all 5 running flows for runaway flow demo? And if I want to, I click this again. And now it makes the HTTP call, and it's going to do a quick refresh of the flow run. So it's going to actually do another HTTP call and refreshes, and like immediately we see that they're all in this canceling state. And if we hop over here into Power Automate and do a refresh, we will see the same thing. They are all in the canceling state. So we've successfully triggered the batch cancellation. So just to end the video, I'll show you real quickly how it's done. I'll give you a peek inside the expression code for my button here. So I've got my button selected, and it's going to look a little complicated for some of you newbies, especially because of the little trick I do to make a double click confirmation. I know it kind of goes against the title of the video because it's not 1 click, it's 2 clicks. That was a little clickbaity of me. Okay, so up here I've got update context, local confirm, cancel runs. It's just a Boolean, so I make it the opposite of what it was. And that's what drives the button changing to like, are you sure you want to do this? And that's what drives making it a double click. So after that, we've got a with, and so we save the count of the running flows in line here in this running count thing. And basically, I'm just filtering the gallery of the flows, the flow runs for the select flow on this screen. And I'm just checking to see if the run status is running. And then down here, I've got this if. So if this is a false, so if the confirm is false, that means we've just confirmed, click the confirmation, so the second click has happened. Then we're going to do another if. We're going to double check that there are flows running to cancel. This is probably superfluous. I could probably get rid of that. And then here we're going to do the HTTP, invoke HTTP with Microsoft Entra pre-authorized. and we're doing a post, and it goes to this endpoint right here, which we looked at previously. So it's this /API/data/v9.1/workflows, and then we put the GUID for our flow right here. And then we've got this stuff at the end. Here's the important part: cancel all Cloudflow runs. And it's just a post, and that's all you got to do, and it just like that cancels them all. And then I do a notification here is telling me that it's canceling all the flows. And then we trigger a refresh. So I've got this hidden icon on the screen, and the onSelect code for that triggers another HTTP request to list all the running flows. And if there are no running flows to cancel, we get this notification saying, hey, there's no flows to cancel. And and over here, this is a default for the initial check to see if what the local Boolean for confirmation is. If it's not the right one, then we do a little pop-up saying, hey, are you sure you want to cancel all these flows? That's that pop-up that comes there. And then for the text on the button, I'm just checking that local Boolean for confirmation. If it's set to true, then I say, hey, then the text is confirm cancel. And then if it's false, it says cancel all runs. That's like the default appearance of that button right there. And then additionally, we could do something with the visibility of the button, hide it if there are no running flows. That's probably the smarter thing to do, or make it a disabled mode so that it can't be interacted with. So the way you add that HTTP action here, what you would do is you'd go to your data, you'd go to add data, you'd type in HTTP, you look for this HTTP with Microsoft Entra, and then you would look for your connections if you've got one saved. And I still haven't quite figured out how to get these descriptions to always show up. Unfortunately, you can't edit the names of connections. You can do it with connection references. Anyway, this is not the place for that video. If anyone watching this knows how you can edit these descriptions reliably, that would be cool if you could let me know in the comments. But anyway, you can hit add a new connection. And then for your base URL, for this one that we're doing, calling that dynamics CRM endpoint to cancel all flows, we need the domain, we need that base URL of our Dataverse. You can click your gear up here and go to developer resources, and then you find it right here. So you just need the part that ends in .com, not the slash. So you'd take that and copy that, and then paste it here and paste it again here, and then hit connect, and then log in to give your credentials to set up that connection. Now, after you do that, what you can do is you can rename, after you add them in here, you can rename them. So I could rename this one to HTTP Dynamics CRM or something like that. So that at least once we get it set up right and in our Power App, then we can rename it. And that way, if we've got more than one of these, we can make sure we're using the right one when we make our HTTP calls. So anyway, that's the video. I'm going to do more videos on my Cloudflow management app to show that off and show how to do different things. But I thought that was a cool new trick that you can do, something to help in an emergency, to be able to batch cancel all your flows. But again, you can always look your flow up here in Power Automate and find that cancel all flows button. But the reason I built this app was I wanted a way to get a list of all flow runs in one place, and not have to like go into each flow individually to see them. And so that's the reason why I built this app. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, share it around, leave a comment below, all that stuff. Check out my blog post and my website in the description of the video. Let me know if you need help with anything on the Power Platform. But thanks for watching, and have a great day.